What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today we got a fun little one-shot for you. Today we have Justice League Dark Tomorrow Special, and this is going to be coming out of the comic We Are Yesterday. This is really just adding a little more depth to everything that's going on with Darkseid, everything going on with All In. If you're a fan of DC Comics time travelers, this is definitely a comic for you, because this comic, it starts us in the time stream. We pick up with the man known as Wave Rider. And right now, Wave Rider is running. He is being chased down by what is known as an Omega Demon. Matthew Ryder has known that his death was coming for years. But having this precog knowledge also comes with a profound capacity to deny it. No one knows better than a time traveler that the future is ever changing. It's always fluid. That a vision of dying one day, it could be a wedding the next. But today is not the wedding day. Today is the day that Wave Rider, Matthew Ryder, he is put into the grave. This is where we hop over to Egypt. We pick up with Extant. This is Hank Hall. As he fights atop a pyramid, the Omega Demons come down on him, and the numbers were simply too many. Another time traveler taken out. In New York City, 1941, all hell is breaking loose. Time is broken. Time travelers are being hunted down. Time travelers, like our narrator, they're being picked off one by one. But our narrator, he doesn't disclose his identity, not right away, saying that it's best for everybody if he keeps his identity secret. As he battles against these ridiculous odds, he is no exception. The Omega Demons have come for him as well. And as he's fighting, it dawns on him that these things, they can't just be a symptom of time being broken. Time never operates that way. That means someone or something, they've created these monsters. Or at the very least, they're controlling them. That means he's gonna need some help. This is what hops us over to the Justice League Watchtower in current day and time. We have Gold Beetle that is showing up here. And as she arrives, she tries to hide her excitement of seeing Wonder Woman for the first time. Actually meeting her, she's super ecstatic, but she's got a problem. She keeps fritzing, almost glitching like the Matrix. With Mr. Terrific doing a little bit of research, having the Atom also help her out, they figure out that she is going in and out of existence. Well, at the time, they don't currently have a way of handling this. They don't have a way of solving this problem. They do tell her that they have been tracking very numerous numbers of disruptions to the time stream. Because of this, we have a handful of temporarily displaced time heroes. This is where we see Amazing Man and Airwave. Old school heroes brought back from the past. They're still trying to figure out the 21st century. And while Airwave looks a little bit gloomy before they have an opportunity to really have a conversation, there's an explosion. The side of the hole has been breached, with emergency protocols going off all over the place. The guy that was narrating at the beginning of the story, he came crashing into the ship, and very ominously, he says, "We are dying." This is what takes us to the infirmary. After having an examination, after coming back to consciousness, Mr. Terrific wants to get his name, but he tells them it's probably best he doesn't tell them. Time paradoxes and all that jazz. He says, "Just call me Legend." But this is where he goes on to explain that you guys probably noticed time's a little wanky right now. But when I said that we are dying, what I meant is that time travelers, ones like me, like Wave Rider, were all being taken out. When he found out that they were being hunted one by one, that's when he thought that we could probably use some help. And Mr. Terrific does note that it's a pretty big we considering the most recent events, everything that's going on with time, all the heroes that have been displaced. I mean, technically, more than half of the League could be considered time travelers. This is where they decide to throw together a ragtag team of heroes. Mr. Terrific and Red Tornado together, they're the ones that came up with the decision for this team. We have our futuristic Batman, Terry. We have Helena Wayne, aka the Huntress. We have Marilyn Moon Knight. And one of my all-time favorites, Jonah Hex. And after Legend briefs them on what they're supposed to be doing, Jonah Hex is the first one to say no. Nope, I'm not doing it. Because what you said is we have a target on our back. Now you want me to go helping people, trying to save other people's skin. I'm not about that life. I'm not trying to be a hero. I never claimed to be a hero. Now, Marilyn Moon Knight, on the other hand, she's down for it. But obviously, this mission is going to require some kind of time travel. How do they do this without a time machine? This is where he says that he has access to something that might be even a little bit better. Tapping a button on his gauntlet. This is where we see the time ship. This is where we see the Wave Rider. And with the arrival of this ship, with this man remaining anonymous, I think a fair, good early assumption of who this masked individual is, going by legend, is possibly Rip Hunter. But if it's not Rip Hunter, it's gotta be somebody close to Rip Hunter. But with our team getting well underway, they go around to save any time traveler that they can. The first stop is Kronos. They arrive and they see that the Omega Demons are already here. They're already chasing him down. When Amazing Man tries to absorb one of the energy of these monsters, we see that he's not able to do so. But with their combined efforts, they're able to save him. They rescue him and they start going and rescuing any time hero, any time traveler that they can find. Now, during one of these fights, this is when Legend, he grabs hold of Airwave. He takes him to the liminal space, the dimension that exists between ticks on the clock. He tells Airwave that I need you to be a divining rod. I need you to do this so we can take out these Omega Demons. You have the ability to sense them. You can feel their quantum frequency, which means you can triangulate where they come from. You can find the source so that we can take them out. And though he is absolutely filled with self-doubt right now, a talking gorilla got into his head, made him feel like a little bit of a failure. But now it's time for redemption. Legend tells him that you got this, that you can do this. Harold Jordan Levy, time lost and full of self-doubt. Airwave would never question himself if he knew what Legend knew, because Airwave, he's destined for greatness. Getting the information that they need, they know where to go. They take the Wave Rider to Vanishing Point. Now, Vanishing Point is looking like a very desolate, terrifying castle. We see the Omega Demons, they swarm the tower. This once was the operational base of the Linear Men, people that used to protect the time stream, but now they're all being hunted. Having the element of surprise, our team attacks. They don't pull any punches. They all break up into their own individual teams, and it is all-out warfare. Also, Elastic Man, we saw him that he joined the team. Mr. Terrific and them, they threw him on the team. But here, we see him taking the form of a freaking Gundam, dude. Just absolutely phenomenal. Needless to say, our team is laying down the hate. And Legend has figured out that at this point, the person that is behind all of this, they're using time circuitry. That's how she's giving these things some kind of temporal powers. This is when we see the person responsible for all of this. This is Shadow Lass. She comes from the 31st century, from the Legion of Superheroes, and she is doing the bidding of Darkseid. She tells them that Darkseid is coming, that there is nothing any of you can do that is gonna stop that from happening. While they're able to take down the tower, they're able to push Shadow Lass back. And the team, they were successful today. They were able to win this. They sent their opponent running, but by the end, Legend recognized her. He recognized the hero from the 31st century, but somehow twisted, made evil, and he doesn't know what this means. But if an evil version of the Legion of Superheroes is hunting time travelers, then they're in a lot more trouble than they thought. Knowing that they gotta get back to the Watchtower, that the rest of the Justice League, they gotta know what's happening here. But as they hop into the Wave Rider and they go to take off and get out of here, what they run into is a temporal firewall. Legend is unable to get them through. Something is blocking them. Something is stopping them. Something is preventing them from returning to the 21st century. And that will be the end of this issue. So I think it is more than fair to say at this point, Darkseid has corrupted the Legion of Superheroes from the 31st century. Now it says that the story of Legends continues in Justice League Unlimited and DC Knockout, as well as what we already saw of Legion of Darkseid in Superman issue number 28. All of this is more or less confirming that something has gone horribly wrong in the 31st century. That at some point, Darkseid ultimately wins. and in his winning, the corruption of all the heroes that are to come afterwards. And with this knowledge, Legend and his team upon the Wave Rider, they are now trapped. They are stuck kinda in between time with no way to get out of here. And that's really what I've been loving about DC Comics. I love the idea of hyper time, of time travelers, and they utilize this way more than Marvel does. Each in, their own respective manner. But DC does it in such a fun way. Like Gold Beetle, when they introduced Gold Beetle a couple of years back, God, I can't believe it's been a couple of years already since Gold Beetle was introduced. With her introduction and seeing her, used definitely more actively. The idea in time travel when it comes to DC Comics is such an elusive idea, because the way that things are manipulated, the way the time stream works, it's all over the place. And then you got the Speed Force that interjects with that. Hyper time is a part of all of this. Like, it goes all over the place. But this was a fun little comic, really taking some of our most prominent time travelers, even reaching back and getting people like freaking Airwave, bringing these heroes together, whether they be from throughout time or time travelers themselves. It was a great opportunity to use a lot of characters that never really get the spotlight, never get the opportunity to shine, and we get to see them really have a moment here. And I hope moving forward that we're gonna see a lot more of this team. But you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going in with the Absolute Universe, with everything going in the All-In Initiative, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50 from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you're getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.